Hello and welcome to the 500 Workshop. Today we're going to be looking at the window washers. So on our 500F here we have, as we were doing a wiring job previously, I removed the washer bag, which is this, which holds the washer fluid for our windows, from the car. Now this, and I'll show you where this lives in a minute, but this is not in the best condition. I think it might be the original. It might have been replaced over the years. It would mean it was quite an age if it was the original. And I don't know whether we can get a glimpse of this. There's lots of rust and debris in here. You can, in fact, hear stuff in the bag, which is not great. And the actual pipe is pretty perished as well. So I'm likely to replace this. I might keep it and see whether I can, because it's not actually leaking, and see if I can clean it up and put it back in at a later point. But I actually have a replacement, which is this, which is slightly different, slightly bigger, but certainly not as crisp and non-pliable as this one, so it's nice and flexible. So we're going to be putting this in the car. So we've taken our wheel out from the front here. It's just a rubber latch that you unhook and take the wheel out. We've also undone 213 bolts on our fuel tank here, and what that leaves with a bit more space, but also access to everything we need. So the bag will hook on some little clips down here. They are, I think there's just one behind the horn, there is, and there's one just over the other side towards the front wing. And there's a pipe which runs round here, round the back and through the firewall. Now, as that pipe goes through the firewall, it ends up attached to a little pump that you pump with your thumb inside the car. Depending on what model you have, depends which side I think it is of the steering wheel, but you'll be able to see it in there. And as you pump that, it's meant to draw the fluid from the bag out through to the pump and then back out via another tube, which then splits off to two and ends up pushing some liquid, hopefully, out via your washers onto your windscreen. I say hopefully because obviously it's not the most robust thing in the world, and the spray, in my experience of my cars, is pretty awful. But nonetheless, we like to have it there. So we've removed the tank just enough to give us access. We'll just go and zoom in on this here so you can see where it actually goes in, if I could get the right way. Okay, so it's going through the dash here, going through the firewall, sorry, here. This is our pipe, which is here. So the next job is to go into the car and remove the right pipe from the back of our push button. So just been inside the car and removed the appropriate pipe from the back of the button, and now we can just pull the old pipe through. Be careful of the wiring, don't want to end up pulling out a fuse or relay or switch or something. There we go. So you can see that's been in there for a number of years. If nothing else, the pipe needed replacing. It's not looking great. What I'm going to do is keep this cap in case I do refurbish the bottle. Actually, the best way of doing this is to cut it. The pipe, that is, not the lid. So I removed the cap from the pipe, and then just spent the last 20 minutes cleaning it up, and under all the layers of paint and stuff it says Fiat Torino. Don't know whether Fiat is the make or something else. I will do some research later, but it's a really nice cap. Still paint on the inside there, and that's kind of a rubber washer which I might be able to replace, but yeah, definitely some history there that I want to keep. Got our new length of hose. Just going to thread it round the back here, the bodywork. So where is it? Here it is. Oh, thought I had it. It's gone too fast, so I can't see it. There we go. Got it now. Thread it behind some of the wiring, and then before I put it through and put it through the firewall, I've got a little trick here. So the end of these quite tough to push on to things. So I've got a little bit of hot water, which I put in a little flask. Just going to dip it in the hot water for a minute or so till it goes nice and soft and pliable. Yep, didn't take long. And push it through our hole with the firewall, and then quickly rush and put that in the back of the little pump. Because that was nice and soft, it's really easy to do. I can just bring the hose back through this side. Got a new bag here. So you need to thread the pipe through the top of this. And then we can fill our bag up with water and hang it in here. Just make sure I know where it's going. Yeah, I think I'm going to hang it first, and then we can put some water in afterwards. So try and get this to where it needs to be. There we go, we're hooked on both. Let's push this bit down a bit. There we go. Right, so now we can fill that up with water and push this back on top. So I just need to get a vessel to squeeze some water or washer fluid into that. So I've got this water bottle, which hopefully I can squeeze some liquid out of into our bag. Yep, there's water in there now. Push this hose down so it gets right in there. And then you should be able to just push this lid on so it clips. Right, now let's get in the car, push the button a few times, see what happens. So here we have our push button. in this case it's just slid under the nudge, knee nudge or whatever you call this. So often they're screwed in. There's a couple of holes in there to screw it in if you want to. But as you can see, there's two pipes here. The bottom one is the new one we just put in, and the top one there is the one that feeds the two jets. So we just put that behind, and if we want to pump it, then literally we just put our thumb on it and pump away, and that should start feeding the water through until we get, there we go, some water coming through there. There, I've got water spraying out of one of the two things, which is not the most unusual thing in the world. It only needs to be coming out of one. Just trying to look at the splitter here, and right, so I can see why it's not squirting out the other one. It's because someone has used a completely inappropriate piece of hose on this. Thankfully we have some of the right hose here. It's feeling quite sticky. So let's see if we can get a bit more access to this here. There we go. So I don't know. I don't know what this hose is, but it's not. It's very thin. And it doesn't look like it's working properly. So we have some new hose here. I'm going to do what I did before. Drop it in some water, hot water on one end. Okay, so I'll stretch with a nail, help that get on. It's too long here, so I'm going to clip that. I'm sure it's long enough, but not too long. Should do. Get this up again. Right, let's see whether I can get any coming through the other one. Plenty coming through that one. Nothing coming through that. Could be because the pipes are unequal. Gonna have to investigate that another time. But the job we came to do, which was to get the bag working, the new bag fitted, we've done. So, and we proved that that piece of it works. We replaced the pipe in that side, but can't in this side, but can't actually get the flow to come through. So it's either because the pipes are not quite the same. This there's, I don't know whether you can quite see here. There's a blue pipe which is slightly wider, I think, than the other one on this side. So it's only one of two things. It's either it's not pushing enough of the liquid up through both hoses, or this is blocked. But either way, that can wait for another day. At least we have some water coming through, and more importantly, to our driver's side. So it's another job that's ticked off our list for now.